On this episode of the Turnbuckle, we have backstage news on Matt Riddle following his WWE suspension. Bayley says the WWE Women's Tag Team division has been mostly downs, and we have spoilers for Saturday's Ring of Honor TV tapings. Folks, rating your favorite wrestling moves from wrestling is because it's time for the Turnbuckle. According to Dave Meltzer on the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Riddle's suspension is up, meaning he's technically free to make a return to the ring at any point. However, he also pointed out that sometimes when a wrestler isn't on the WWE Wrestlemania card, they can be held back until after the show, meaning that a return for the former United States champion might be held back until after the grandest stage of them all. Of course, it is not confirmed that Riddle isn't going to be part of Wrestlemania this year, but he hasn't been seen on television since the December 5th episode of Raw, where he was written out of storylines following an attack from Solo Sikoa. With a lot of the bigger storylines now falling into place, it could be a case of WWE keeping him on ice until there are firm plans for Riddle, which goes along with recent reports that claim his name hadn't been mentioned backstage recently. Riddle was initially taken off television due to a reported suspension for a second drug test violation, which WWE never confirmed. However, the RK Bro star did confirm that he spent time in rehab on social media during this period. Interestingly, Riddle took to Twitter and shared a video of him singing "Freedom Isn't Free" from Team America World Police, which could be linked to the fact that he is technically available to return, but isn't free to do so just yet by creative. However, Sikoa currently doesn't have a confirmed match at WrestleMania, and a returning Riddle seeking revenge could potentially be an option. Is it okay to say that it's good to know that this is, over with now? Am I allowed to say that, I'm happy to hear about this? Should I not be saying that? I feel like with everything that was, going on while this is happening, it's kind of, I feel a little bit weird for being yay, so, because I know that there was a whole lot of, it was just a whole lot of drama between him and, his significant others and everything, and, the only thing that really happened was that, he wasn't faithful, and that was pretty much it. I honestly have no idea what I'm allowed to say and not allowed to say, so I'm literally just, walking around the line right now, because I don't want to be demonetized. Anyway, I don't know if okay, so Riddle is ready to go, and it sounds like Randy is ready to go. Now, I don't know if that means that they're potentially going to do some sort of RK Bro reunion, and that's going to happen at WrestleMania, and if it does, it would have to be for the titles, and I don't really see that happening right now, considering we've got Kevin and Sammy going on, so if they both returned, I feel like everybody's expectation would be that they're eventually going to partner up again, but maybe that doesn't have to happen. Let's just see what they've got in store for Matt Riddle. I guess keep your eyes out for the next couple weeks, because I keep saying, man, what's it? I think it's 4 weeks now, I think, to WrestleMania. Still, all right, that's enough time to, you can throw Matt Riddle in there and then have a WrestleMania match, but listen, we'll have to wait and see if that actually happens. Next, we're going to talk about Bayley and how she says the WWE Women's Tag Division has been mostly downs. One half of the inaugural champions, Bayley, remains a stalwart on WWE's main roster today, where she is aligned with the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Io Sky and Dakota Kai as members of Damage Control. In a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, Bayley discussed the tag team titles and how she hopes their image can improve. "What I really want to see is the tag division grow," Bayley mentioned when talking about the overall growth of the women's division. "There's so many ups and downs with that, and mostly downs." Bayley was quick to clarify that she understands why the tag team division has routinely struggled with consistency over the years. "It's hard to get the tag teams together, and it's hard to keep them together," Bayley admitted. "Since their inception 4 years ago, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships have only seen one title reign last longer than 150 days. That being the Kabuki Warriors' run with the belts from October 2019 until March 2020. Bayley's history with the tag titles is a big reason why she hopes to see them thrive in the future. I take those titles very personally because me and Sasha brought them into existence, basically." Bayley confirms before concluding, "I just think there's so much potential in that division. There's still a lot that can be done." One thing I can definitely say about the Thunderdome era is that the women's tag team titles were definitely, moving around a lot. It was a lot of teams kind of just coming together just for the sake of it, and then they kind of just broke up just for the sake of it. But, I mean, for the most part, at least at the end of the day, you can say that they had a division of some kind, if you want to call it that. And I think right now, there's not really a whole lot of that going on. I think at one point there was when Damage Control, first came in, because when did they debut? SummerSlam? That's not true. Next year SummerSlam, I think, right? Because that's when Triple H just came into power. And then into power. You know, I feel like if you really wanted to, you could get you could put Chelsea in a tag team with somebody and Tegan in a tag team with somebody. I feel like having them float around like different people or floating around in general doesn't really do a whole lot for their character, and really doesn't do like anything for them in terms of like momentum, just because if you're just like I said, what was it, yesterday or like 2 days ago, when I was talking about Chelsea Green and how it was like there's no point in her coming running around and being all ditzy and everything, and then she's like in a match, and when she is in a match she loses, you know, like it's not helping. I think it's best that, you know, if you're gonna have a tag division, form the tag division organically. Don't just like slap a bunch of people together and then make the relationship work from there. I think it's best if you don't have to have like 8. I'm not saying you have to have like 12 tag teams running around and nobody's like a singles competitor, but like you can have a decent tag team division. I think that I speak for everyone when I say that the WWE is capable of putting together a very structured tag team division, and right now I just don't think it's on the cards for them, which is a shame, because I think I've said this before, I remember talking about this before, how NXT does a really good job with the tag division, and I think the Fallon Henley, oh gosh, what's her name? Fallon Henley, Kiana James, that was a really, really good storyline. I like the relationship that formed. I like how it like sprouted off of like something else, you know, and I like that they had like a goal and everything. And if you're gonna do it like, oh, how will they coexist? If you're gonna do it like that, that's great. Don't do it for every single tag team. That takes away the shine of it, you know? The tag team division definitely needs to be reworked, and it needs to be, I don't want to say refurbished. I just think more furniture needs to be put in. I don't think we need to refurbish anything. I think we need to add more furnishings. So once we do that, then the tag division will definitely start looking a lot better. Finally, we're going to be talking about Saturday's Ring of Honor TV taping spoilers. Nearly a year after Tony Khan announced he was buying Ring of Honor, the company held their first set of tapings Saturday at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, as the relaunched TV show finally arrives on Honor Club this Thursday. As expected, the taping featured several surprises and debuts, including NJPW TV champion Zack Sabre Jr., former Impact wrestler Lady Frost, and a few callouts for current champions. A lot of stuff happened. Now, there's a bunch of spoilers. I'm not gonna say them. Don't worry. I'm not gonna say them. It's, first of all, it's like a lot. So even if I told you all of them, you're probably gonna remember like 4. And right now I'm looking at like at least like 13. So I'm not gonna say a whole. All I'm gonna say is that they are really there. Oh God, because I'm gonna sound like I didn't think that they were gonna take this seriously. But that's not what I'm trying to say. I think what I'm trying to say is that they're trying to put this on par with Dynamite. That's what it feels like. There's a lot of programs and call outs and championship matches. They're really like filling this roster in, and that is really, really good to see. And it's really good to see how there's promos everywhere. So that tells you right off the bat that, you know, this is obviously not going to be your Rampage Dark type show, which kind of feels like that's what I thought where it was going. My main worry was that it was going to try and be like AEW, and it just wasn't going to be able to realistically pull in the numbers. That was just my thought. Okay, I'm just being totally honest with everybody. That's not a dig at, well, it kind of is a dig at Ring of Honor, but I was thinking more in terms of like accessibility and streaming service. Like I was thinking more logistically of how like it would be able to stand on its own 2 feet. But the way that they're building it, it seems like it's going to have no issue with that. They've got a bunch of wrestlers, right? They've got just a smorgasbord and a moose-bouche, right? You've got a charcuterie board of different types of wrestlers. You know, you've got tag teams and stables and everything, and they've already got the championship the championship brackets filled out pretty much. Like everybody's got like their spot, you know what I mean? It's like a lunchroom, and everybody just knows where to sit, and that is really, really good for the future of Ring of Honor. And the fact that you've got Zack Sabre Jr., let's see, Dalton Castle was on there, Tony Deppen was on there. Shouts out to Tony Deppen. You had a bunch of Willow Nightingale defeated Lady Frost. So you've got familiars like Konosuke, you got Madison Rain. Let's see, Arya Davari was on there. Grand Metalik was on there. Who else? Aussie Open was on there. Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus. You had the Trustbusters. So you've got a lot of color, a lot of like, you know, different shapes and sizes and, you know, all types of what have yous going on in there, and that's really, really good. So listen, all right, I don't mind waiting and seeing how Ring of Honor ends up turning out. Am I gonna get Honor Club? Probably not. I'm probably just gonna do what I used to do when I couldn't watch Raw and SmackDown are just going to find a back-end YouTube channel or a website to watch. And all right, leave me alone. I'm human, all right? What do we talk about? So Matt Riddle's pretty much ready to come back. He's good to go. We just got to wait for the green light for him. Man, I was going to say RKO. I was going to say Ring of Honor. Randy Orton is ready to come back. He's ready. Okay, I don't want to say ready. No, that's not true. The article pretty much said he's like, hey man, I'm ready. I'm good to go. I'm trained. My back's feeling better. He's getting, his boots. He's getting new boots infused into his skin. So that's good to know. I'm happy to hear about that. So we're just going to have to wait and see if they align the storylines, or if they both come back like separately and they do their own thing and then they come back. We're just gonna have to wait and see. The women's tag team division, like I said before, definitely has room to be improved. I think they could do a lot more with it, and they could have a lot more storylines. And like I was saying about the relationships thing, like you could definitely have a lot of different superstars be like, hey, you and me have history, but what if we went out? Because I like a team that comes together like, hey, I want gold, you want gold, we're really good together, why don't we just become a tag team? And the other person's like, that's a great idea. And then that, like, I don't know, to me, that doesn't really seem bad. It's very short, sweet, and to the point, it ties it all really, really quickly. Anyway, women's tag division definitely needs to be improved, so hopefully that definitely happens in the future. Ring of Honor tapings are definitely looking good. They're juicy as all heck, okay? There's matches all over the place. I mean, if there's a match you don't like on here, there's going to be at least 2 or 3 matches that you like on here, so I would definitely keep an eye out for that. So we're just going to have to see what the next tapings are going to be looking like, because so far they're not looking too bad. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode. I was going to say a Ring of Honor, man, someone help me. That's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. As always, big hugs all around.